Now try to understand how SSB checks for it. And the first important thing for you to know is SSBs are there for a purpose. They want to check for your suitability कि ये 15 क्वालिटीज हमें चाहिए इन अ कैंडिडेट एंड they do it very very logically, very very systematically. They are not there to judge you, they are not there to evaluate your overall qualities and then take a call whether you should be recommended into the forces or not. Aise they are not judging you as a person, they are only looking at a set of 15 qualities, that to a certain degree, to a certain level which is expected. And failure in SSB does not mean you are not fit for any other job or you are not having officer like qualities. ऐसे कुछ है नहीं. It is just that at that point you are not suitable enough to join training and become a military officer because of either a few qualities not up to the mark or you not being exactly suitable for their requirements, for the armed forces officer cadre requirements, which I just covered over the past 1 hour. At that point, those 5 days you have displayed your qualities in a way that it is found overall ki you are not the right fit, you are not there overall. There is some amount of flexibility, thoda maximum 90-95% agar fit hai, the remaining can be compromised and built during military training. But as a whole, if you are not suitable you won't be recommended, and if you are suitable you will be recommended. So I would say instead of remembering officer like qualities, remember this one word, suitability. Understand what is required in the forces and see whether you are qualified or you are the right person for that job. If you figure out that suitability factor, you can take care of the remaining things. Like preparation will become simple. And obviously your personality is a combination of some genetic factors and some environmental factors. So there are few things which you can change and few things which you cannot change. So some people come back and say, although I have worked a lot, I have given 25-30 attempts, I have tried to transform my entire personality, there is always a limit to how much you can change about yourself. So you can maximize your change through environment, but heredity is something you already have. And there are things which you can do to overcome those weaknesses or work on already existing strengths also, but there is always a limit to how much your personality can be changed. So you understanding that some qualities are already there in you which are not very flexible, not very trainable, and there are some qualities in you which can be trained, which can be groomed, and trying to figure out which qualities are those in yourselves which should be trained, which should be sharpened, is important for you to clear SSB in the upcoming months. And there are some qualities which manifest in a group, and there are some qualities which manifest alone. For example, your intelligence, your reasoning, etc. These are your own. It need not have a group for you to display these qualities. These can come out in your responses in the interview, in your psychological responses during the psych test, and even during individual tests like the lecturate, individual obstacles, etc. And there are some qualities which manifest only in a group. Like, how can you measure leadership unless there is someone you are leading? Or social adaptability, for example, unless there's a group with whom you are adapting, you cannot display social adaptability in without a group. Like alone, these qualities cannot be displayed. So there are like two broad categories of these qualities, and it is important for you to have both. And SSBs have their techniques to split these qualities and test them and observe both the qualities and then take a call. So yeah, this you must have heard a lot of times: thoughts, words, and actions. Also in Sanskrit, you can call them mansa, vacha, and karmana. Personality is articulated in these three broad planes. So what you think, which is your psych test, what you say, which is during your personal interview, and what you do, that is through your actions in the GTO tasks. These three should be consistent, there should be a balance, and there should be commonality across these three. Otherwise, you are either faking your performance, or you yourself are not clear on what you are doing across these tasks, and there is no cohesion between your personal qualities. So there has to be synchrony between what you are thinking, what you are saying, and what you are doing. that is when SSB will look at you as a good candidate. And this next set of assumptions is very important. Trainability is something most of you don't understand. Some qualities in human beings at the stage you are in your life, you are, I'm assuming, people from 18 years to 25, 26 years of age, whoever is giving NDA, TES, CDS, AFCAT attempts, etc. At this point in your life, there are some qualities which are highly trainable. For example, your leadership ability, your stamina, your determination, your power of expression. These are highly trainable qualities because these aspects do not come with heredity or early childhood. These are not shaped to a very huge extent. So there is always scope for you to improve these at any point of your life, and especially given that you are still young, these qualities are highly trainable. But there are some qualities which are least trainable. For example, if a person is an introvert, a socially awkward person, a shy person who is not adaptable in a group context, it is very difficult for the SSB or the armed forces, when you undergo training, to inculcate those qualities in you. It has to be there already manifested across your, because social adjustment comes mostly from your early childhood, unless you have had a happy upbringing, a simple, fair upbringing. And by happy, I do not mean you being from a privileged background or something like that, but you would have interacted with people, you would have played some sport, you would have sat with people and understood their perspectives. Unless that growth has happened from your childhood, suddenly, if a person has been brought up alone, hasn't interacted with anyone, that person cannot suddenly be trained to adjust socially. It is very, very difficult, and this quality is uh, not easy to train. And courage, another factor I want to quote as an example, is least trainable because you are born with courage mostly, and some people develop courage throughout their early childhood and during your formative years. Like if a person is not courageous, and by courage I mean these three things: physical, mental, and moral courage, which I covered when I spoke about that quality. It comes from your early childhood, from your early upbringing. So it is not trainable after a certain point. Like even in NDA or TS entries, it may be a little flexible because you still have 4 years to go and then you will be commissioned. But graduate entries mein, it is a strict no. Wherever you show lack of courage, even to a small extent, you can be straightly rejected or not recommended, because these qualities are not at all trainable. To a very small extent, they are trainable, I would say. And another approach is benefit of doubt to the nation and not to the candidate. People may think, "Hey, I've been extremely good, I performed really well, but still I was a borderline case or I was not recommended," because whenever there is a doubt, that benefit of doubt is given to the country, because the approach is, even if 10 good candidates are rejected, we should not recommend even one unworthy candidate. So it is a little against the candidates. It is uh, not very favorable to aspirants, but that is how the system is, because we cannot afford an unworthy candidate to be recommended and later go on to uh, because you understand the responsibility, right? You are in charge of hundreds and thousands of troops, and obviously the bigger responsibility of national security. So it is always made sure that only a perfect candidate who fits the requirements, only he or she is recommended. And if there is a doubt, it is better to lose a good individual rather than select a doubtful case or an unworthy case. So which is why it becomes a little difficult for people to get recommended. And yeah, overall, I want to conclude today's session by saying the right path of preparation is for you to understand first what the requirements are, and analyzing whether you want to choose this career first, and if you choose, what are you signing up for, and focus on long term growth and not trying to display some qualities or trying to get short term tips or tricks. Focus on long term growth. You preparing for SSB is you actually becoming the person who the SSB wants, or a military officer qualities which I just mentioned. You becoming that person in reality is your approach to clearing SSB, and not just superficially appearing like a worthy candidate. So that should be your focus, and strictly avoid model answers, mugging up stuff, or trying to get guidance about very very small things like कि TAT में story कैसे होनी चाहिए. All those are important, but you becoming that person who himself can give good responses, who herself can give good answers, is the approach, and not by taking some guidance or taking some tip from others. So avoid robotic behavior and try to focus on long term growth. And you need to condition your mind into controlling emotions. You need to train yourself into inculcating all these qualities, and these qualities will improve over time. Trust me, it will take a few months for you to change anything, any personal quality that you have, because over the past at least 16 to 18 years, this personality has built, and suddenly you cannot come and take some guidance and change that personality. It may be very superficial, it may look like you have changed something in yourself, but that growth is not sustainable, and it can be easily found out by any trained assessor. So yeah, you focusing on long term growth, you training yourself to become a worthy candidate, and you avoiding any model answer or short term tips and tricks should be your right path or right approach to preparation. And this is what we'll be doing over the next 9 sessions. I'll be teaching you the right techniques to build yourselves, and then over the next 1 month, after these 2 weeks, you will be put through practice sessions where you will focus on your own weaknesses and how to overcome them, and you will be getting guidance every week on how you can improve yourselves over the long term. So yeah, this is session 1. Tomorrow we'll cover screening tests in detail. Yeah, good Josh, buddy. You've seen this video till the end, and that already shows me that you have a spark in you. You can become a truly remarkable officer. If you want one on one personal guidance from me, you can always contact me and enroll yourself in my personal guidance program. And this is just the beginning. So keep your spirits high and watch all the remaining videos in this SSB Bro Mentorship Program series. Stay disciplined, stay focused, and make sure you learn and practice regularly. All the best to you. Jai Hind.